Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing, my peoples. This is what we do. Mel Charlo posted, I would say, a cryptic message. Um, Cryptic? Because I said cryptic. A cryptic message where the image shows a lion eating what appears to be a shark. Now, we know that the fighter who went by the big fish is Errol Spence. And I saw Charlo in a video talking about he knocked out southpaws. Errol Spence is a southpaw. So, could a fight between Mel Charlo and Errol Spence be brewing? Whoa. Jay Will, good morning, my brother. Bam! Jermell versus Spence at 154. They haven't spoke. You know, obviously it's very early on in whatever situation may be developing. So I don't know what division it would happen in if they fought each other. But I think that this is a very interesting showdown. We have two fighters who know each other, who's been around each other a lot, sparred a lot. So I think, that it would play out in a way that it's an entertaining fight. This is a fight where, like I said, they know each other. They share the ring in sparring. I would assume many times because they're close in size. So for each other's training camps, they spoke about sparring each other. But man, Errol Spence versus Mel Charlo. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been saying that Errol should come back to a tune-up, but being that Jermell been inactive too, I don't have a problem with them coming back and facing each other right away. To me, that's like they saying, you know what? Let's get the bag. Let's get this work. Let's go. Because I don't want to see Errol come back and go straight for a title shot or come back, fight one of these young lions and get pummeled out there. If he comes back versus Mel Charlo, he'll be fighting a guy who's also coming off of inactivity. That's a good fit. I like that fight, my peoples. Which, by the way, I see that some of you ducking that like button the same way Tank Davis is ducking Lamont Roach. Y'all gotta stop it. Jay Will, they used to be brothers, trained by Derek James. How they are enemies? They was down with Derek. They was both trained by Derek James. I don't know. You gotta remember that Errol Spence had a fallout with Derek James. So, but I do remember that the appearance, the image, or the perception that I got from watching videos, and I'm talking about 7, 8 years ago. Back when it was Keith, Errol, Danny, Ugas, not Ugas because he didn't have a title yet, but Sean Porter. When these guys were the one running the welterweight division, I still remember, seeing a lot of videos of Charlo and Errol, like hanging out. Not hanging out in the streets. I'm talking about their training and they kind of like off to a corner talking, joking around before starting to train. Like, you could tell that they was cool with each other. But Mel Charlo said it. This is a business. This is a business. Apparently, they was not that cool with each other. Because now Mel Charlo's ready to whoop that ass if he got that opportunity. I will say this right now. Mel Charlo is going to be the favorite in that fight. You have to think about it. Errol Spence They're both coming off of inactivity, but only one of them really got pummeled. If you look at Mel Charlo's loss to Canelo Alvarez, he didn't take like a nasty beating or anything like that. He got outpointed. He was moving around. I felt like he fought to survive, to make it the distance. That's not the same as Errol Spence, who was there to bang with Terrence Crawford. He went there to win that fight. But it turned into a pummeling session. J. Will, I'm going with Mel by stoppage. Look, for me, it's hard to make a prediction on Mel Charlo and Errol Spence for this reason. If you think about it, we haven't seen Errol Spence after he got beat up by Terrence Crawford. We ain't seen him yet. So it's easier for us to bet against him because the last outing, you got pummeled. But what if we get the old Errol Spence? The usual Errol Spence. Now, I have to say, the chips are going to be stacked against his favor. Why? It's not because he lost the way that he did. It's because of multiple factors, like the inactivity, which is about to be 2 years already, and the age. Being inactive for 2 years when you're 25 is not the same as being inactive for 2 years when you're 32, 33, 34. That takes a toll on your body. So can Errol Spence come back and go straight up against Mel Charlo and beat him when he's going to be the one fighting at a higher division for the first time and after 2 years of inactivity? I don't know. I'm pretty sure Mel Charlo is going to, if that fight happens, is going to be the favorite to win. The betting, the betting favorite. Being incognito. Hello, love from India. Look, I'm going to tell you like this, man. It's a tough fight. It's a tough fight, my people. And it's a good competitive fight. I'm not saying that anybody's getting washed. I'm not saying that Errol's going to get washed by Mel Charlo, but the odds are going to be against him. Go get the money. Nah. He's not beating Jamel. Now, he's not beating Jamel now. Back then, maybe. Back then, it would have been a good fight, but you have to consider the fact, go get the money, that Jamel's been inactive too. Think about this. Look, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to ask you the question, but I'm going to look it up too. When is the last time Mel Charlo was in a title fight? That was with Canelo Alvarez, right? So, look, Mel Charlo box rec. So I'm looking for the date. Look, that was in 2023. I'm wilding out. Mel Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez was in 2023. That means that he's going to have close to the same amount of time of inactivity as Errol Spence. And that's why I was saying earlier that Errol Spence should come back to a tune-up. Yes, but if you're going to come back against a guy who's been inactive as much as you, then go for it. I don't have a problem. Yes, 2023, my people. I'm looking at the box right. Looking at the box. So watch this. Crawford fought Errol Spence in September of 2023. And Mel Charlo fought Canelo Alvarez. No, wait a minute. Yeah, September too. He fought him in September too, my peoples. Both of those was in September. So they've Errol Spence and Jermel Charlo have been inactive for almost the same amount of time. Literally the same month and the same year they fought. Tiki Tipson, hey, how do I like this live? I don't know, my brother. There should be a like button there somewhere. If there isn't, I don't know what to tell you, my G. Enjoy the show. Jay Will, double push the screen. But Tiki Johnson, I really appreciate you wanting to hit that like button, because a lot of people be ducking that like button the same exact way Tank Davis be ducking or has been ducking Lamont Roach. There you have it, my peoples. And you know what? There's a few people that ask me, yo, how I hit the like button? Why YouTube don't just put a little like button right there that you can just bang, hit the like? Oh no, you gotta make it, complex. Come on, YouTube, get it together. Go get the money. Bud versus Errol was July. Oh, okay. So July, August, September. July, August, September. Okay, 2 months apart. There we go. Crawford, Errol fought, and 2 months later, Mr. Mel Charlo fought as well. So they've been inactive for almost the same amount of time. Chris Fontaine, Jay Smith, what's the word? My brother, Jermel Charlo posted, a subliminal message. A lion with a shark in his mouth. Who's the big fish? Errol Spence. I like that fight, my peoples. I've been telling you that I want Errol to go with a tune-up. Gotta do a tune-up. You can't just go for one of the big guns right away. But if you're talking about Mel Charlo, who's been inactive for 2 years just like you, I like it. Give it to me, give it to me. I want that fight. Make it happen. Tiki Thompson. Thanks, Jay Will. Tapping that screen. Chris Fontaine. Like at the top of the screen. No doubt, my peoples. Hit that like button. Come on now. At the top of the screen or double tap the screen, all that. You know what? Sometimes I think people ducking the like button, like Tank Davis is ducking Lamont Roach, and maybe they just can't find the like button. YouTube, get it together. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Real talk. Chris Fontaine, Derrick James, gone now. It's going down. That's it. That's it. The friendship apparently is over. It's time to fight. That's it. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, with the type of relationship that I thought they had, I didn't think we would ever see Errol Spence fight either of the Charlos. Like, that's his mans in them. That's his peoples. Well, look at that. 2 fighters that I don't think we're going to see fight is Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis. But isn't it crazy that they're close? And I don't see them fighting, but people calling for that fight. People want that fight. And I'm saying, nah, it's not going to happen. They're too close. And now look at Jermel Charlo and Errol Spence. Looking like they might be getting ready to squabble up. Chris Fontaine, I thought they was in the same table. I don't know, man. It's looking like they not on the same page, that's for sure. Jay Will. Tickle Thompson, I have no idea what tip you're talking about, but thanks for hitting the like. Chris Fontaine, Derrick James, gone. Now it's going down. Chris Fontaine, facts. I didn't see this coming. Jay Will, Jay Smith, 50 episodes went by fast. It feels like. My guy, I'm going to put it to you like this. When I did episode 49, I didn't realize it was episode 49. And I was like, holy crap, I'm doing episode 50 and I'm not really, I wanted to have a guest for that milestone, but I didn't set it up because I wasn't even thinking. The episodes are going so fast. for episode 100. You guys are gonna see me having, fighters come on, and coaches and trainers and all that good stuff. But for episode 100, I definitely want to have something special for you guys, for sure. Go get the money. Having that fight in Dallas, Texas would be fire. I mean, come on. Charlo, Spence, that'd be a super fight. Matter of fact, that fight has to happen in Cowboy Stadium. And I'm sure 100% Jerry Jones is going to sanction that ASAP. Oh, Jerry Jones, make it happen. The big fish. And Lions only. Ooh. I'll tell you like this, man. A lot of people are going to be going against Errol because of what happened in his very last fight. Because that's common in boxing. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. So if your last fight was a loss where you got pummeled, that's what people got in their mind. Like, he got beat up, so, If he wins, it's going to be a real good win for him. If he loses, y'all know there's going to be the fans that are going to bring up the car accident and the eye and, he was smoking weed that day. There's always going to be people who have all type of excuses. At the end of the day, the better fighter wins. That's the reality. That's why Terrence Crawford is the best of this era. And the same reason why he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez via unanimous decision. Jay Will, I really enjoy the Rick Glaser dialogue. You do a good job making it feel like two homies chipping it up instead of a buttoned up dry interview. I appreciate that, Jay Will. And you know what? To be honest, that's part of the concept. When I bring somebody on the show, I don't want to sit there, with a list of questions that I'm going to ask you one by one, and you're going to give me your answers, and we're going to go back and forth about your answer, and I'm going to sit here and kiss your ass with these low ball questions so that you can knock it out of the park. Nah, we just going to have a conversation. I'm gonna ask you questions, but we're going to bring up topic of conversations that the boxing fans want to know about, that you're interested in talking about. Because that's the thing. Think about it, Jay Will. If me and you is talking about boxing, we can have a great conversation because we enjoy the sport of boxing. So I don't need to probe you. I don't need to ask you questions. We can just talk about it. So if you notice when Greg Hackett, salute to Greg Hackett, man. He out there grinding, doing his thing, coaching and doing other things for his communities and all that. Salute to Greg Hackett, man. Gotta give him his flowers. But if you notice when he came on the show, when Rick Glaser came on the show, you'll see that vibe. We talking boxing, we talking about all of these different topics. And I'm really focusing on what you guys are talking about, what you guys want to know. So that makes the conversation interesting for me, my guest, and for you guys, because you can chime in and put in your 2 cents. But again, my peoples, Mel Charlo and Errol Spence, if they fight, I think that's going to be a real big fight, and it should happen in Dallas Stadium. That's the place. 2 guys from Texas, Jerry Jones, need to sanction that. Make it happen. Big Dog, Mike Tyson. Okay? So, give me a second. Take a little 30-minute break, and when you come back, talk current boxing stuff. We're not talking about Mike Tyson or retired people. Kevin, hello from New Zealand. Salute, Kevin. Appreciate you dropping in. We talking about Mel Charlo. We talking about Errol Spence. It possibly is going down. I think we want to see it. I mean, I know I want to see it. I think because let's see the fan reaction. Let's see what the people are saying. Today's going to be a day across social media where we're going to see people saying, that's a great fight, I want to see it. And then there's going to be people saying, oh, nah, look, that's a bad fight because they both done, they both washed, they not going in. You always get those type of fans. Let's see. Let's see how this whole situation is going to develop, because once a fighter posts something like this, they can also gauge interest in the fight. They can see if social media is buzzing about it, say, yeah, the people want to see this fight. The people want to see this fight. Jay Will, do you see Spence being able to jab his way inside and get to the body without Mel landing heavy shots over the top? Whew. Look, man, it's a tough task, but Errol Spence has the skill set to get on the inside. Of course, he's gonna eat some shots on the way in. That's just gonna be a part of it. When you have a guy like Mel Charlo who has those fast hands, those sharp punches, who's a real good counter puncher, you're gonna have to eat some on your way in. It's just that simple. In fact, if Errol Spence shows up to a fight like that gun shy because of what happened versus Bud, then it's gonna be a serious problem. Because you don't want a guy like Mel Charlo applying pressure on you and dictating the pace. You're going to get lumped up. So Errol's going to have to find his way to get on the inside, to be consistent with the jab. He has to. If not, he getting lumped up again. Go get the money. Certain boxing channels, they be talking mad wild. They be making it like we need them. The way they be talking sometimes, be like they feel as if they bigger than the program. Man, listen, I respect what some do, and I really don't like what others are doing on as far as boxing content. You know, like I have a lot of respect for Blue Blood Sports TV. I have a lot of respect. You know why? Because I know for a fact that Blue is the type of person who he's looking for actual information to share with the boxing fans. He's actually talking to sources. And then when he's talking boxing, he's talking about, things that he has knowledge of. He's not out there making stuff up out of thin air because he don't like somebody. He's not out there pushing conspiracies and pushing narratives. He's out there, if you sit down and you simply listen to what Blue Blood Sports is saying, he's just spitting facts on top of facts on top of facts. Like him, hate him, love him, he out there doing his thing. Salute to Blue Blood Sports TV. Bam! So, but there's also the social media, the YouTuber, boxing content creators that are constantly spitting out fake narratives, that are constantly, making stuff up just to get those views, just to get those likes. Like, I'm not gonna point at nobody, but let me just give you guys an example. Terrence Crawford has never tested positive for steroids. Terrence Crawford has never been involved in any controversy related to steroids. Yet, you'll find a bunch of YouTube channels telling you, oh, he's on steroids. Oh, because he's this and he's working with this guy and working with that guy. He's on steroids. He's cheating. He's... Any channel that's telling you that, I can respect it, because now I know that all you're doing is really trying to push a narrative so that you could get your views and that you could get your likes. And I don't like that. I don't respect that. You're willing to lie to the people. And that actually hurts the sport of boxing. When people like that, have a platform to push a narrative, that's a problem. And you guys don't see it. You know why? Because they'll push a lie, but all these fans that they pushing the lie to, they don't know that it's a lie. And a lot of them want to believe it. They just want to believe it. So what do? You push that lie on your platform to, let's say, 50,000 people. And now those 50,000 people go on their own platforms and their own Instagrams and their own Facebooks and push these stories and these narratives that happen to be a lie. So anybody that's out there just pushing lie and pushing fake narratives, nah, I don't rock with them. That's not my thing. North Star, who you got? Look, man, Mel Charlo is going to be the favorite. And Errol Spence, man, it's hard to bet against Errol too, man. Right now, honestly, it's hard, real hard for me to have a prediction for you guys. My peoples, let me remind y'all, this is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Here's my breakfast. So if you just woke up, if you already had your breakfast, if you're about to have your breakfast, enjoy it. I'm about to enjoy mine. I hope you guys are having a good time with this episode of Boxing for Breakfast, man. Check it. Right there. Toast, avocado, egg. That's what I'm having. North Star, Crawford or Bud? Whoa. What a question. Go get the money. Blue Blood wasn't bashing Bud along with other YouTubers. Facts. And it's not just that. If you notice, if Blue is saying something, it's based on facts. He's not out there telling you, well, I think that this, and I think that this guy's doing that. And pushing a narrative, a fake narrative about people. You don't see him doing that. Yes, if a fighter cherry picks, Blue's gonna hold them accountable. I do that all the time. Is that hating? They call him a Tank Davis hater too. Why? For saying Tank need to fight the best out there? That makes him a hater? That makes me a hater? K-Man, that's a healthy breakfast. No doubt, my brother. Everybody tuning in. Welcome to a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast. This is what I'm having this morning, man. Toast, avocado. By the way, that avocado is from the tree in my house. When I tell you this is the best avocado ever, it might seem like an exaggeration, but I promise you it's not. This is the truth. Ebrima, love from Gambia. Woo! Gambia in the building. Salute. Appreciate you dropping in, man. Enjoy this boxing for breakfast. Make your predictions, man. By the way, my peoples, that like button, you can hit the little like button at the top. You could double tap the screen. Because I realize some people don't hit the like button because they simply don't know how to hit it. If you don't know how to hit it, now you know. So if you don't hit the like button, that means that you ducking it the same way Tank Davis is ducking Lamont Roach. We got you. We know now. How y'all doing it these days? Superman in the building. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. MAW. My brother MAW always showing love. I always appreciate seeing you. Enjoy the show, my brother. Hello, boxing fans. Jay and chat. Smash that like button, folks. Come on now. Come on now, my peoples. We about to go in with it. Hit that like button. We about to get serious now. Get ready for the trash talk. Pull out your trash talking arsenal. Get ready for the smoke. And let's make these predictions. Who getting lumped up? Who getting beat up? Is this fight going the distance? MAW. Mel versus Spence would be interesting if it happens. Key words, if. We don't know if that fight is going to happen very early, but that subliminal message from Mel Charlo told us that he's with it. That's it. A lion eating a shark, and then there's that video out there with him talking about, y'all know what I do to southpaws, knock them out. My people, come on now. That fight is a very interesting fight. Look, dare I say every single one of you wants to see that fight. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Anybody in here tell me, nah, I don't want to see that fight because it's not a good fight. Or it don't make sense to me. Go ahead. Go ahead, my peoples. You know what it is? Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. This is my breakfast. Enjoy yours, my peoples. Jay will. Bud will probably have to drop the WBA belt at 154 soon. So I wonder if Mel versus Spence would be for that vacant title. The thing about that is, Jay Will, Crawford has hinted at the possibility that he may go back down to 154 after this fight with Canelo. Thus, he may end up defending that title or even getting a unification fight. But we'll see how it plays out. We'll see it. Make your predictions, my people. Who do you have winning the fight? If Errol Spence and Mel Charlo do end up fighting each other, who do you have winning it? Ebrima Jabi, thanks. I am from Team Crawford all night. There you have it. Team Crawford is in the building. I mean, we already know. We already know what's going to happen with Canelo Alvarez. It's going to be a good fight. Canelo's a great fighter. Crawford's going to beat him up. That's what I got for you on that. Boxing on paper. Yo, Jay, what's the best sport for young kids to get into that feeds into boxing later on? I've heard a lot of boxers say dance for footwork. If so, what kind of dance? Honestly, I think any kind of dance. I think any kind of, it doesn't have to be classical dance like Lomachenko, because any kind of dance is going to give you a certain level of agility. Think about breakdancing, for example. The footwork, the movement, all the stuff that they do. So in reality, any kind of dance is going to help someone develop great footwork later on, because they're going to have that agility, because they're going to have that movement already. So I would say any one that you practice. Go get the money. The WBA going soon get his name announced in the ring. Agent 17. Last night sucked, but hopefully today better. It's part of the process, family. Part of the process. You gotta hang with it. Life. One of the things I always say, my peoples, life is not perfect, y'all. Don't let social media fool you. Don't let Instagram fool you. Because according to Instagram, everybody's a millionaire. Everybody's balling out of control. Everybody's life is perfect. Don't let that shit fool you, my people. Life goes up, life goes down. All of us have great times where everything is on the up and up. And all of us have situations that we got to deal with that bring us right back down. That's life. It's a roller coaster. That's words from your boy Jay Stradamus. Christopher Lane. Good morning, my man. Salute. Salute, Christopher. Bam. Agent 17, Charlo. Only because Spence hasn't been the same fight since Crawford. But here's the problem with that train of thought. Agent 17, Errol Spence hasn't fought since he lost to Terrence Crawford. So we don't know if he is or isn't the same. That's the big question mark. But you also have to keep in mind, Agent 17, Errol Spence has also been inactive for 2 years when he lost to Canelo Alvarez. In other words, Mel Charlo and Errol Spence, they will both be coming off of a loss in their last fight. Only thing is, like I said earlier, obviously Errol Spence got pummeled worse because Charlo fought to survive. So he lucked out. He didn't get beat up like that. But they both coming off of a loss, my brother. And we haven't seen them in the ring after that loss. And it was 2 years ago. They both fought last in 2023. Errol got battered by Crawford in July of 2023. And then after that, Mel Charlo got beat up by Canelo in September of 2023. MAW. Should Spence Have a tune-up first. Mel next. After long layoff. After stoppage loss to Bud in a big ask is a big ask. So I'm gonna say this, MAW. I've been saying that Errol Spence needs to come back to a tune-up. However, I don't have a problem with Errol and Mel fighting each other right away because they've both been inactive for about 2 years. They're both coming off of a loss. Mel lost to Canelo and Errol lost to Bud. They both lost in their last fight. They've both been inactive for about 2 years. So their circumstances are very similar. So yes, I think it's okay for them to come back and fight each other right away. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Superman, Mel is inactive. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to have an edge. They're both coming off of about the same time of inactivity. MAW, that's true. Both been inactive. So it kind of balances out. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, man, Charlo wasn't trying to win, and I said that. I said that, my brother. I was like, come on. Even right after the fight, I said Charlo was not trying to win. He was trying to go the distance. And you saw it. He didn't throw that many punches. He was very apprehensive. Didn't trade a lot. He just wasn't there to win. He was out there to survive and get a moral victory. Look, at the end of the fight, he mentioned it. I went all the way to distance. I went 12 rounds. That's it. He got a moral victory. I want to ask you guys a question, my peoples. A change of subject real quick. Why the hell are people acting like Tank Davis versus Jake Paul is going to be a real fight? Why are people asking who's going to win and saying Jake Paul's going to win or Tank Davis going to beat him because he's mad nice? Y'all not understand that's an exhibition fight? We're going to act like they fighting for real. Okay, man, and don't forget Charlo also came to get the bag. Of course. He got his bag against Canelo. Walked out of there clean. Took a couple of punches, got dropped, but nothing major. Go get the money. CJ Smith, this the reason why these fights are keep happening. Because people talk so much shit about it, but still supporting it. The thing is, people are not consistent when it comes to how they support a fighter. You see how somebody could go in this very chat, and I've seen it a bunch of times, in this very chat, and tell me, well, Jay, tell me what are Terrence Crawford's legacy fights. And tell me who are the pound-for-pound fighters that Teofimo beat. And tell me who are the superstars that Shakur Stevenson beat, right? And then when it comes to Tank Davis doing an exhibition fight with Jake Paul, those very same fans tell me, well, you know, he's making a lot of money, though. Oh, make a lot of money. That's it. It's all about the money for him. How do you ask about other fighters' resumes and who are all the champions all these fighters beat? But then as soon as Tank Davis come up, you go into pocket watching mode. Oh, nah, because he making a lot of money. People look goofy as hell making that argument, yo. Real talk. I like some real goofy shit. Superman, Charlo was at a track meet. He was on survival mode against Canelo. He wasn't there to win. MAW, Tank versus Paul is just a money grab. Good for them getting that bag, but I have zero interest in it. Well, I think MAW's zero interest could be a bit of an exaggeration, and I only say that because I know I'm going to tune in. I know I'm going to watch. You know, if I'm being honest, I still want to watch. I'm still curious. But this is a show. This is a spectacle. This is not a fight. It's not a real fight. Nobody's going to get knocked out. Nobody's going to get hurt. It doesn't do anything on their record. It's a show. People just have to stop acting like it's a real fight. Did you not watch Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? Jake Paul could have knocked Mike Tyson out cold in the last couple of rounds. But he wasn't trying to do him like that. Go get the money. If people never supported the foolishness, they wouldn't be trying to be doing this circus-ass event. That's the thing. Go check out the Tankomaniacs. He's making a lot of money, yes. He's making millions. That's it. That's what they're supporting, that he's making a lot of money. Crawford about to sleep. Steroid tacos. God damn. Quite brutal. Agent 17, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was sad to watch. It played out exactly the way that I tried to tell people that it was going to. They had y'all fooled with those 30-second clips of Mike Tyson. Little 30-second clips. Had people thinking Mike Tyson was going to be the old Mike. Meanwhile, you didn't see a single video of Mike Tyson sparring one whole round. Just one whole round, him sparring. You didn't see a single video of that. You didn't see anything other than real short clips. That didn't fool me at all. I knew. I was like, bro, Mike Tyson is 58 years old. A 58-year-old who weighs 200 plus pounds. He can do that for 30 seconds and look real good, like a world champion. But can he do it for 3 rounds and multiply that times 10? Hell no. Hell no. Not versus a guy who's in his mid-20s, like Jake Paul, and is gonna be big and strong. Hell no, you're getting beat up. That was mad obvious to me. Mad obvious. If you go back and look at the videos I posted about that fight, I told you guys, yo, Mike Tyson getting beat up. Only thing is, I felt like Jake Paul's not gonna knock him out because he knows Mike Tyson is a legend. He's an icon. You knock him out, you might have a hard time leaving that arena without an incident. But it's a circus show. In a real fight versus an opponent, his, size and weight and all that, a fair fight, Jake Paul would have knocked him out like he did Tyron Woodley. But he didn't even try to stop Mike Tyson. Why? Because it's not a real fight. Come on now. Come on, my people. You have to understand that So far, Jake Paul has one fight with one professional fighter, and that was Tommy Fury. He lost that fight. Come on. Superman, Jake juiced to the gills. He looked like he's juiced, to be honest. And you know, for an exhibition fight, there ain't no VADA testing, none of that. Age of 17 years plus his ulcers and shit. And not even a year before that fight, Mike Tyson couldn't walk. Bro, it was a year didn't pass since when, you don't remember when Mike Tyson passed out on a plane and all that? They had to get him out the plane in a wheelchair. Come on, man. But the thing is that people just want to believe that Mike Tyson was the old Mike Tyson. And watch this. That fight shows you how people change narrative. The same people that were saying Mike Tyson's gonna knock him out, Jake Paul don't stand a chance. This is the baddest man in the world. He's gonna kill him. After the fight was over, nah, yo, that shit was scripted. Mike Tyson let him win. Mike Tyson, because they just couldn't accept that they was wrong. They just couldn't. They just couldn't accept it, my people. But the reality is, what I try to tell everyone. Mike Tyson, 58 years old, man. He's close to 60. Jake Paul is in his mid-20s. Big, strong. Been training for years already in boxing. He knows how to box. He's not a great boxer. He's not going to beat a great boxer ever. But a guy close to 60 years old, bro, I'm going to put it to you guys like this. If you take a 50-year-old fighter and you take a 25-year-old big, strong kid who never boxed a day in his life, and you put him in the gym for 1 year to train, that 25-year-old kid for 1 year to train in the gym with boxing, and he will beat the shit out of a 58-year-old former world champion. Because by the time you got to 58, your physical abilities are so diminished that somebody with a lot less skills than you can whoop your ass. And that's what we saw in this fight. That's what I expected we was going to see in this fight. And I try to tell people, yo, nah, bro, Mike getting beat up. Jake is going to put hands on him. I try to tell people. Crack. I believe they have to call it exhibition because of the weight differential. I think this is going to be for real fight because of the egos involved. Tank is going to try to knock him out. You know, you'll believe what you want to believe, Croc. You're a Tank fan. As a Tank fan, you want to believe it. But no, it's called an exhibition. You know why? Because it is an exhibition. That's why. So you could think, oh, they're going to fight for real. But you saw Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Did that look for real? When Mike Tyson was wore out and Jake Paul didn't finish him, did that look for real? When at the end, Jake Paul was like, yeah, okay, let's finish this. You good, champ? Come on, man. Listen, only Tank Davis fans would think that this is for real. Nobody else. The whole world, this little group of people is like, yo, nah, bro, even most Tank Davis fans don't think it's for real. Like, you're amongst a few who will say, nah, this is going to be for real. Nah, buddy. Tank probably already got the script and is telling him how many punches he's going to throw and who's going to go down in what round. And no, brother, I hate to disappoint you, but it's not for real. It's not going to be for real. No exhibition is for real. You tell me when's the last time that you saw a fighter get knocked out in an exhibition. And I'm talking about a fighter with a name. That's the reason. When's the last time you saw a fighter get knocked out in an exhibition? This is not going to be any different. Same deal. Adam, Jake have massive power, and it's real. He's going to, for the job in. He's going to for the KO. That's the thing, man. You guys don't understand what exhibitions are about. You guys just don't understand it. There's a reason why it's called an exhibition. If you know, I can't convince you of what an exhibition is, if you don't want to, if you don't want to understand it, all I can tell you is that an exhibition fight is not a real fight. Make of that what you will. Not a real fight. But check this out. Check this out, my people. For those who say that Jake Paul and Tank Davis is gonna be for real, let me show you something. My peoples, listen to this real quick. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. Let me describe to you what is an exhibition match. An exhibition match is a non-competitive bout primarily organized for entertainment purposes. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. Let that marinate. Did you hear that? An exhibition boxing match is non-competitive and for entertainment purposes. Do with that what you will. If you want to believe, look, it's kind of like WWF. There's a lot of people that want to believe in WWE and all that wrestling stuff. There's people that want to believe that they real. And there's people that go crazy. Like Croc, right now, I could tell you, when you watch those wrestling fans, you can't tell them wrestling is fake. Yo, I had a friend of mine kick me out his house one day because I told him wrestling was fake. That's no cap. No cap, my peoples. I don't remember. It was a big pay-per-view event that we was watching. And I was like, man, nigga, this shit is fake. You're like, nah, Jay, you gotta go. You wildin'. I'm like, what you mean I gotta go? You wildin' out, bro. You gotta go. You messing this shit up. Bro, I had to leave. I had to leave his house. And I didn't even take it personal. That's when I understood how serious he is about wrestling. You can't tell him it's fake. So you guys want to believe an exhibition fight is real so bad that I got to let you believe it. All I could do is tell you the truth. You believe what you want to believe, my peoples. Al Booger, appreciate the boxing for breakfast. Salute, Jay Smith. Salute, my brother. Bam, appreciate you dropping in. So again, you know, I understand that a lot of people want to believe that this fight is going to be real. But when you hear exhibition, it's telling you, it's already implied that it's not real, my people. It's like, not only do you not want to admit that Tank Davis ducked Lamar Roach, but now you're trying to say that the exhibition fight is real. Come on, my people. Y'all gonna take a double L on this one. Yeah, this is like a double whammy. Nah, he's not ducking. And this fight is for real. Come on, my people. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Check me out, man. To those of you who just tuned in, you know it. This is a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. You see it right now. It's 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time. We on it. Croc, do you think that Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti fight was an exhibition? They tried to kill each other. It was an exhibition, but they tried to kill each other. The problem with your comparison, Croc, is that you're talking about a washed-up mid-40s Floyd Mayweather and a washed-up 40s or 30s non-boxer guy who trained. How are you going to compare that to Tank Davis, a reigning world champion right now? That's the problem, Croc. You're taking exhibition fights for people who are retired who should be doing exhibition fights and comparing that to somebody who's ducking Lamar Roach because he got his ass whooped and is going to go fight Jake Paul in an exhibition. Come on now. Which, by the way, Floyd Mayweather and Gotti, they're almost about the same size. Obviously, that's not the case with Tank Davis and Jake Paul. So it's a horrible comparison that you're making because there's absolutely nothing between those two that you could compare with these two. Nothing. Only the word exhibition. That's it. Circumstances are 100% different. If you want to make a fair comparison, go ahead, find me a reigning champion who's doing an exhibition. Take your time. But you want to make a crack. Come on, crack. You want to make a comparison with a guy who doesn't even box anymore, who should be doing exhibitions. Tank should not be doing exhibitions. That's a horrible comparison, my G. Jefe Stevens, what do you think about the Raja Jackson deal? So that's MMA situation, and you guys know Box Center is 100% boxing. I'll comment on that because a lot of people been asking me about it. Look, man, Raja, unfortunately, he messed up really bad. He needs to go to jail. I know that homeboy, hit him with the can in the head and did a little trash talking right before. But what he did was, without a doubt, overkill. You beat a guy while he was unconscious. You send him into the hospital. Dude nearly died. You almost killed somebody. So, yes, I believe that in this case, you have to, take action. Take action. He has to go to jail, unfortunately. And to be honest, after those actions, I don't even understand. Honestly, I don't understand how he ain't even arrested. He's not locked up. I don't understand it. Be honest, my people. You beat a guy that bad, you have that level of anger, whatever psychological issues you're dealing with, you beat a guy that bad, you need to be in jail. You need to be in some type of institution because you're showing that you could snap at any moment. Like, he snapped. That's the only way that we can describe it. Snapped. So that's my thoughts on that situation. He needs to, be held accountable. That's that. Age 17, he should be locked up. Bro took shit too seriously. That's overkill. And look, it's not just that he took it too serious. I would say that he has to have psychological issues because most people would not beat the shit out of a man while they unconscious. Most people just wouldn't do it, bro. You might get one in, but might get one in. But turning a beating, my peoples, while doing unconscious, 15, 20 punches. Come on, man. Come on, my people. You don't do that. You don't do that. So, I think he does have psychological damage that he needs to work on. But first of all, you need to be held accountable for your actions. You need to go to jail for that. And you know what? I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to fix that internally and he don't even go to jail. Like they try to, because I seen them already trying to spin that narrative. Like, no, this was kind of like part of the show and it kind of went wrong, Like it was supposed to happen, but it went south. And that's all it was. Now, Rampage, give this guy a nice little bag. Here you go. Bam, take that. Don't press charges. And let's move on from this. I think that can actually happen because Raja wasn't arrested. So, I don't know. But that's my opinion on that, my people. So you got to be... Raja and anybody else who acts like that got to be held accountable. And there gotta be consequences for that. Um, Again, my peoples, we digress. Errol Spence. Errol Spence been out of boxing for 2 years. 2 years out of boxing. And he wants to return and go straight for Mel Charlo. So people are saying, nah, he's been inactive for a long time. He can't win that fight. But Mel Charlo's been inactive for the same amount of time almost. And he'll be coming off of a loss too. So Errol lost to Crawford and Mel lost to Canelo. They both coming off of a loss. Come on now. I've always maintained that Errol Spence should come back to a tune-up. But if he's going to come back versus a guy who's been inactive just like him, I'm with it. I'm sold. Make that fight happen. And we could start making these predictions. Honestly, it's hard for me to make a prediction on that fight. I know that Mel Charlo is going to be the favorite simply because that's what makes sense. He's the guy in the higher division. Is Errol the one who's going to be moving up? But the big question mark, I think right now is, who is Errol Spence today? We know what happened in his last fight, okay, but did that have an impact on him psychologically? Is Errol Spence going to come back and be gun shy? Or is he still going to be the body snatcher? Is he still going to be that guy that can apply that pressure and just beat you down? Can he come back and be that version of Errol Spence? So that's a big question mark. Because, like I said before, boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. So once you lose and you lose badly, people are like, oh, you're done, you're washed, you're cooked, you're going to... They lose faith quick. So you're going to see that perception come into play if Errol Spence and Mel Charlo are going to fight each other. Where you see the people saying, oh, Errol, he's done after Crawford. And they'll still bring up the car accident. Still bring up the car accident. Frank, good morning, bro. Salute. Bam. Superman, beating via a track meet. Whoa. Superman. Nah, they both fight inside. Frank, it's mental for Spence. I'm saying, man, after 2 years of inactivity, it could play out in Errol Spence's favor. Why? Because obviously after 2 years, you allow your body to heal. You're not fighting. You're not taking punishment. So if he's able to get himself in great shape, now the question is, how is he up here? That's why I mentioned, is he going to be the same Errol Spence that's the body snatcher, that applies that pressure, that let them hands fly? Or are we going to see someone who's going to be more apprehensive, who's going to use more footwork than what we're used to seeing? I want to see that fight, my peoples. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Errol Spence and Mel Charlo is a big, big fight. I said it. It has to happen in Dallas. Has to happen in Cowboy Stadium. Let's get it. Let's get that action, my peoples. Croc, at the end of the day, Errol Spence only lost one fight. That's facts. He only lost one fight. The only thing is, took roll, salute. The only thing with Errol is that he only lost one fight, but what goes against him is that 2 years of inactivity. What could go against him is the 2 years of inactivity and the fact that it's been said that for the most part, he hasn't really been in the gym. He gets to the gym, works out, but it looks like a lot of those 2 years he's been out of shape. He's been, overweight. So it's not the same when a fighter's inactive, but they're constantly in the gym, constantly training. They ready to go. It doesn't look like that's been the case with Errol. Jay Will, Spence before the car accident, who arguably lost to Porter, never beats Bud. Listen, the car accident had absolutely no bearing on the fight. None whatsoever. I say, in my opinion, Errol Spence's car accident has gone down in history as one of the weakest excuse ever to not acknowledge a great performance by a world champion. That's without a doubt one of the weakest ever. Frank, do you think Spence will cash in the rematch with Bud? Look, with Crawford stating that he's going back down to 154, that rematch could be a possibility. It could be a possibility. However, I think for that rematch to happen, Errol Spence would have to come back and win big. He's not going to come back straight into that fight. He has to come back. He's going to have to earn it. If he can come back and beat Mel Charlo, then maybe he calls out Crawford after that fight, and it can happen. But for Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence to fight a rematch, Errol Spence is going to have to earn it. He's going to have to, get a big win. Take a little break. This is a boxing channel, my peoples. We talking boxing. Why are you showing up over here talking about music? That was a break that I'm giving you for asking about music. But you know damn well, or if you didn't know, now you know, the next time you ask a non-boxing question, you're getting blocked. Blocked. So you're lucky I was feeling generous. I was like, let me give you a little timeout so you could watch. But you need to understand that if you go into a boxing channel and you ask a music question, you're goofy as hell. K-Man, it would have made sense for Crawford and Charlo to fight after Bud beat Spence. Man, I wanted that fight, but Charlo looked like he was scared. Charlo looked like he was scared. And I'm going to tell you why. Y'all don't remember before Crawford fought Errol, that Mel Charlo was like, don't be talking to me. You got business to take over there. I'm over here at 154. You got business at 154. Go call Errol. And what happened? Crawford pummeled Errol. You was sitting right there. Climbed the ropes, pointed at you. Yeah, nigga, you next. And what happened? What happened? You got beat up by Canelo Alvarez, and now Terrence Crawford is fighting that very same fighter next. Yo, Crawford is that dude, man. People don't understand the type of Hall of Fame career that Terrence Crawford is having. He's going to be one of those fighters who's has such an amazing career, and people spend so much time trying to hate on him, so much time trying to find an angle that they can hate on him, that they just missing out on enjoying a great career. That's crazy, bro. It's kind of like when Floyd Mayweather was fighting, there was people out there who would say stuff like, he's too boring, he run too much, he's putting me to sleep, he not knocking people out like that. And those people then had to see Floyd Mayweather become one of the greatest of all time. They had to see Floyd Mayweather become one of the greatest of all time. And they never really enjoyed his career because the whole time they was just talking shit and trying to hate on him. And now they look back like, damn, that nigga was the greatest. All I did was hate on him. The same thing is going down with Terrence Crawford, y'all. There's a world of people that see greatness happening right in front of us, and we enjoying every moment. And then there's the people that's like, nah, he's not all that. Nah, he didn't beat nobody. Nah, he's too... Damn, you just hating on a whole career. And this guy's going to go down as one of the greatest of this era. He's going to go down as an all-time great. And all you did was hate on his whole career. That shit crazy. That shit crazy, yo. Agent 17, O.J. Smith. You see Roach calling out Mayweather to fight? Yeah, but that was more because Mayweather tried to put Moulton on him. He was like, damn, yo, promoting on your ass. So Roach reacted that way. But again, my people, Terrence Crawford, if you look at the resume is great. Even if he don't fight Canelo, he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. And he got people that's gonna hate on for the whole career. Come on, my people. Come on, my people. You see, Crack, what you're saying? And Crawford grabbed his nuts while talking shit to Charlo. Was all in his face. All in his face. Come on. Went up there like, oh, what's up? What's good? And you don't see Charlo wanting that smoke, wanting that action. So, at what point do people just say, yeah, this guy's a great fighter? We just got to give it to him. There's some people that will never do that no matter what. Yo, look at the steroid narrative. I already got people telling me, nah, if he beat Canelo, it's going to be because of steroids. He can't beat Canelo. Only if he do steroids. Look. That's how you know that someone has already decided on their mind. I hate Terrence Crawford, and I'm always going to root against him no matter what. Meanwhile, the guy just keeps winning. Terrence Crawford is going to go down as an all-time great, my peoples. So imagine you spend the whole career of a guy hating on him, hating on his opponents, hating on his accomplishments, and then he goes down as one of the best of the era, one of the greats of the era. Then in the future, you're going to be the lonely little group of people talking about, nah, yo, but he didn't really fight the best because, you know, Amir Khan wasn't the same, and Sean Porter wasn't the same, and Kell Brook wasn't the same. Like, nobody was the same.
Escúchame, more. Si tú puedes jalarlo para allá, pone todo. Me lo dejas rinconado ahí, pero para que no tenga.
Está bien, está bien.
Mira, está ahí, una música después.
Está bien. Agent 17. I root for Crawford in every fight except against Canelo. I can't go against my favorite boxer. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, my brother. I respect that. I respect that 100%. Come on, over here.
Yo estoy bailando, papá.
Okay, I love you. Go ahead,
Love you.
watch your cartoons. Go ahead.
No, se llama baile. Se llama baile.
Okay. Grant, Usyk is a joke boxer. No, Grant, what happens is that you don't know shit about boxing. But take a 30-minute break and think about that. Giovanni Walker, what's up, Jay Smith? Giovanni, salute. Bam. Imada 210, good morning, Jay Smith. Good morning. Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. You know what it is, man. We talking boxing. We doing what we do. Mel Charlo, Errol Spence. Is that fight actually going to happen? Yo, Mel Charlo dropping hints, dropping subliminal messages that can lead into a fight. K-Man, Charlo didn't want no parts of Crawford because he knew Spence was getting the nest on him in sparring. The best of him in sparring. Look, man, Mel Charlo, when I saw him talking about Crawford in the past, it sounded like duck language to me. When you're talking about, oh, he got to go fight somebody else, he got to go do that over there, and he didn't beat nobody, and he got to earn a shot, he was talking duck language. He didn't want no parts of Terrence Crawford. That's the reality. Go get the money. Canelo's best performance was when he juicing. Whoa. Whoa. So, look, I'm going to be honest. It's hard for me to say that that is accurate simply because we don't know when Canelo was juicing. We don't know. We know when he tested positive for that fight with Triple G, but we don't know before that or after that. We just know that Eddie Reynoso team keep getting popped for steroids. Hanny plays Tank pissed off Turkey. Jake is his only big payday. Giovanni Walker, hit the like button. But I don't even understand that Hanny plays that about Jake being his biggest payday and all that because, I mean, that's his biggest payday, but that would be the biggest payday for anybody. But I don't understand because Tank Davis fans, you know, their biggest argument that they bring to the table, which is weird as fuck, is that Tank is making more money. Tank got mad money. Tank is the cash cow. Tank is the face of boxing. Like, y'all been saying this for years about how Tank getting the most money and putting the most butts in seats and selling out all these arenas. So how is it that right now when he ducked Lamar Roach, y'all talking about nah because he's making a lot of money? Some even try to tell me nah because you know you're gonna need that lawyer money for that case that he got now. I'm like, what the hell? But you've been telling me that he's been making the most millions out of everybody for all these years. Now he don't got that money. Now he need a payday from Jake Paul. I don't know, but it just don't add up. I don't know. To me, it just not adding up right. Agent 17, Eddie Reynoso love that juice. Nah, just kidding. I can't diss my boy Eddie. Have he got any knockouts after the juicing? I don't know, man. I don't know. Go get the money. Ask that question. I don't know, my brother, if he got any knockout after the juicing. Agent 17. Hanny plays Tank pissed off Turkey because Turkey want him to fight Shakur and Tank refuses. Yo, Tank does not want to fight Shakur Stevenson, man. It's already 2-3 years ducking him. And that's why I say we may never see that fight, man. They're going to have to offer him an amount of money, a crazy amount of money, for him to fight Shakur. Especially now, you're getting $100 million bag. That's it. He's never going to fight Shakur. That's it. Hanny plays. Tank going to retire. He's not into boxing no more. Imada 210. I was talking Canelo versus Crawford with some co-workers. And they asked me who was I going for. And I said Canelo. But they were like, you shouldn't root for Canelo because he's from Mexico, not the US. Yeah, you know, there's always gonna be the race fans. There's always gonna be the people who wanna root based on, you know, race, country, and all that other shit. But I don't know, that don't even make no sense to me. Hanny plays 135 pounds filled with ducks. A lot of people ducking, man. A lot of people ducking. Agent 17, Tank ain't gonna do it unless you offer him a rule where he lost, where if he loses, it doesn't count. He's not gonna fight Shakur Stevenson, man. If he didn't fight him all this time, I guess they would have to make him some type of crazy offer. You know, we're gonna give you $500 million to fight Shakur. You know, for him to take that ass whooping and get embarrassed by Shakur, they're gonna have to give him a shitload of money that he can't even imagine. The realist, he thought he could beat Roach. Of course he did. Lamar Roach was a cherry pick gone wrong. Let's be realistic, my peoples. You the hardest puncher, or one of the hardest puncher, pound for pound in boxing. You bring up a guy from the 130 division who doesn't carry a lot of power, you cherry picking. He brought Lamar Roach up thinking he was going to knock him out. You saw how slow he started those first 2-3 rounds. Because, you know, the demeanor was, I'm going to knock you out down the line. Hold on, let me let you play around a little bit. I'm going to knock you out later. And it backfired. Lamar Roach turned out to be a cherry pick gone wrong, and the only cherry pick that we ever seen get ducked. Golly. Your green thumb. Tapping in from DC. Good morning, bro. Salute the green thumb. Bam. Appreciate you dropping in. Hanny plays. Inoue no duck. Oh, nah. Inoue is really about that smoke. I could tell you that right now. Naoya Inoue, a.k.a. the monster, is really about that smoke. It really is. Superman. He got some cap. He got some cap on it, though. My peoples, all I want to see is the best fight the best. And no matter who the fighter is, whether it's a fighter that I support, that I follow, that I root for, or a fighter who I don't know, or a fighter who I don't like because of something that they're doing, I demand, I ask, I want fighters to fight the best out there. I keep that same energy across the board. You see, if you go far back enough with the videos that I posted in this channel, you're gonna find that after Crawford beat Madrimov, I said that he should fight Canelo. People was laughing at me. They were saying that that fight could never happen. That I don't know shit about boxing. There's weight classes for a reason. Canelo would never fight little Terrence Crawford. Crawford would never dare move up 2 whole divisions and fight Canelo Alvarez. I'm crazy for even suggesting such a fight. And look now. We're a few weeks away from Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. I was asking for it when nobody else was. Now we're going to get it. And all I'm telling you is that people are going to be just as shocked. You saw how shocking it was to see Terrence Crawford putting the beats on Errol Spence? Remember how shocking that was? How it got to a point where some of us felt sorry. Like, I felt sorry for Errol. By the time it got to like the 6th round, I was feeling sorry for Errol. Like, damn, yo, he out there getting pummeled, bro. I try to tell people that's what was going to happen. And after it actually did happen, the same people who said that Crawford was going to get knocked out shifted their excuses to, well, you know, Canelo's not the same, and the car accident and what happened was. Excuses. That's what happens with the hating fans. They have an excuse for every big win a great fighter has that they don't like. So apparently every single win in Terrence Crawford's resume is not good. They could diminish every single one of them. So y'all missing out on the career of a great fighter that you could be witnessing it and enjoying it. You hating on it. That's crazy. Crap. True story. I was a huge Errol Spence fan, and I truly thought he was going to manhandle Crawford. But Crawford was entirely the best fighter. Crawford is definitely in a class all by himself. Look, the predictions of Crawford getting knocked out that night was super common. He was going to get walked down. Now, I want you guys to consider all of the things that they said about Errol versus Crawford, and you're going to see that most of them are the same that are now being said in Crawford and Canelo. So if you thought the size difference and the strength difference was going to win Errol Spence the fight, you didn't learn after watching him get battered? After watching Errol get pummeled? You didn't learn that the size difference is not going to get you across the finish line with a W? You should have learned it back then. But now your line is, well, Crawford is no Errol. Crawford is no Errol. No shit. But you're still making the same argument. He's bigger and stronger. That's it. That's your argument. But you guys are going to find out. You're going to be just as shocked. That same feeling that you felt while Errol was getting battered, you're going to feel it again. You are going to feel it again. This time, when Canelo is being made to look easy for the 3rd time in his career. That's the thing about it, my peoples. Y'all seen Canelo be made to look easy. Y'all seen it. How is it that you already seen Canelo made to look easy and you think it can't happen? You seen it. We seen it. JJ's in the house. Good morning, Jay Smith. I'm here. Hit the like button, everyone. Ooh, 30 likes. Let's go, man. Some boxing fans been showing love. My people's hitting that like button. I appreciate y'all. Imada 210. What are the keys to victory for Crawford and Canelo? Interesting question. The keys to victory for Terrence Crawford is to use his range, to use that long jab. We already spoke about it. You guys know that Crawford has longer arms than Dimitri Bivol. So the keys to victory for Terrence Crawford is to use that range to offset. Canelo's constant body attack. You remember versus Dimitri Bivol, Canelo didn't have a lot of success with shots to the body. He didn't land, to the body consistently. Why? Because he was outside. He couldn't land those. So Crawford has to be able to keep him on the outside with the jab, with the footwork. You guys saw him with Shakur Stevenson, sparring, training. You guys know that Shakur has that type of footwork, has that step back, which I believe Terence Crawford is going to be using on Canelo consistently. And then every time Canelo closed the gap, Crawford got to let his hands go and step away, move to the left, move to the right, make it happen. That's what it's all about. Terence Crawford is going to have to dictate the pace with his height, reach, and footwork. And, of course, with his technical skills. How does Canelo Alvarez win this fight? Well, in case of Canelo, it's going to be his job to get on the inside, work the body, and try to break Crawford down, slow him down for the later rounds. Of course, in between an exchange, he's going to try to land big shots. If he hurt Crawford, he's going to try to stop him. Why do I believe Canelo's going to have to stop Crawford to win this fight? I don't see him outboxing Terence Crawford. I believe he has to hurt him. He has to try to stop him because he's not going to win on the cards. He's not going to outbox him. Crawford is the better boxer, the taller boxer, the longer boxer. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So I say the keys to victory for Canelo Alvarez is to apply that pressure on Crawford consistently, work the body, slow him down, and then in the later rounds, when you get into the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, put it all out there, go for the knockout. That's the keys to victory for Canelo Alvarez. He needs to get the stoppage. Crap. Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime versus Crawford in his prime. Who wins at 147? It's hard to say, my brother. I'm not a fan of making those type of predictions because then it always goes down to opinion. We could never prove it. We could never find out. So it's like, I'm not a fan of those type of predictions. Hanny plays. Canelo better not try to outbox him. Nah, look, I promise you, Canelo's not going to try to outbox Crawford. He's going to try to outwork him. He's going to try to outwork him. He's going to try to apply that pressure. He's going to try to be in his face. He's not going to try to outbox him. There's just no way. That's not happening. Agent 17, Canelo going to cut off the ring. Better, too. Yeah, he got to cut off the ring way better. We saw the Baku versus William Skull. Canelo couldn't cut the ring to save his life. That's why that fight went the distance. And it was a boring fight to watch. Think about this, my peoples. And I said this before. Canelo Alvarez is the type of fighter who needs his opponents to cooperate. Siéntate, Lito, que te voy a poner agua ahí. Siéntese ahí, Lito. Hold on, my peoples. Let me get these cartoons from outside. Let me get some for you. Canelo Alvarez, and I've said this before, my people. Canelo Alvarez. Hold on one second, my people. Hold on. Go get the money. Nah, Canelo wasn't cutting the ring off in the Charlo fight either. He wasn't doing a good job of cutting off the ring as well, but Charlo also wasn't doing as great of a job staying out of them punches. He was getting punched on. Richard Thompson. I don't know what that means, Richard Thompson. Agent 17, he did better than he did against Skull, against Charlo, cutting off the ring. But that's the thing, my brother, that is not the same type of fighter. It's not the same type of... Skull is a guy who's going to use that footwork. Charlo isn't. What is going on over here? JJ Sanders, Jay Smith, can you please read my comment? You know I got you, my brother. Of course I gotta read what you got to say, my brother. Hold on one second. Let me scroll up. JJ Sendejas. Larry Merchant said Crawford has a chance like Sugar Ray Leonard did against Hagler. Get in and get out and stay on the outside and use that jab. Notice how that goes hand in hand with what I said. Using that reach, using that jab, using that footwork. If you keep Canelo outside of his range, he's not going to be able to consistently work the body like he normally does. There you have it. And there you have it, my peoples. I was talking to myself. But let me just give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all know what it is, man. We talking boxing. We doing what we do. We love the sweet science. And let me just say, this is episode number 51 of Boxing for Breakfast. Some of you guys tuned in from the beginning. Some of you joined in later. But Boxing for Breakfast would not be the same without you guys. You know, I'm not looking for everybody to agree with me on every single subject. I appreciate a difference of opinion. I appreciate going back and forth. What I'm not with is when people just want to be disrespecting fighters and hating on them. And that's the only thing you do, disrespect, hate. I don't be down with that. And you guys already know, if you've been watching Box Center, you know I'm not down with the conspiracies. You know I'm not down with the fake news. I'm not down with the cap. If I'm going to give you this sweet science for breakfast, It gotta be real boxing stuff. And that's what I try to do. You never see me here talking about no goofy stuff that I'm making up because I don't like a fighter. I'm telling you what it is so that you could get a balanced and healthy dosage of sweet science. My peoples, my peoples, let me know what you think about this situation with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. And I'm asking you about that because Teofimo said that he had already signed the contract and that the fight was happening early next year. But then Shakur posted and said, yo, stop playing with the people. Stop playing with the people. You ain't signed nothing. I already agree. You ain't signed nothing. So it looks like Teofimo's saying that he signed the contract, but he didn't. And I'm going to tell you what, man, that's a fight that I really want to see. I finally want to get Shakur. I finally want to see Shakur get his opportunity to fight a big name. Finally. Because y'all know that Shakur, that's the hate from the haters that he get. He didn't fight no name. He didn't beat no name. That's the hate right there. So, like, that's one more check that Shakur gotta check off. They like, oh, you said I didn't beat no name? Look who I beat now. What new hate shit you got for me? Croc. But it's okay to hate on Tank. I don't know how I hate on Tank. Go ahead and tell me, Croc, how exactly I hate on Tank. By telling you that he ducked Lamont Roach and is gonna fight an exhibition fight with Jake Paul, that's hate. That's the problem. When you're a fanatic, the truth, you can't handle it, so you call it hate. Now, when you say that Terrence Crawford is on steroids, that's hate because there's no proof that he's ever been involved in that. But you got so much hate that you make up stuff out of thin air to hate on a fighter. But then your favorite guy is fighting in an exhibition fight and you don't want to hear that he ducked. When he's fighting in a fake fight instead of a championship fight. Now y'all want to become a fanager. He's making a lot of money. Look all the money he's going to make, though. Come on, my peoples. My peoples, I just want to ask you, which other fan base, besides the Tank fan base, you see arguing about money? About how much money this guy's going to make. And about how much money that guy's going to make. Who else does that? How do you even get entertained by arguing about money? Come on, crap. I never said Crawford was on steroids. I didn't say that. You said that. But I'm sure you see the Tank fan base say that every day. I'm sure you see them say it every day. And when they have been on this very chat saying that he on steroids, I never saw you going in there and saying, nah, bro, he not on steroids. So you're not saying it every day. But when the other Tanker maniacs are saying it, you're not out here correcting them. You not out here saying, yo, bro, nah, that's a lie. You stay quiet when they say that. You let them spread that rumor. You like it when they spread that rumor. I'm not saying it. They're the ones that are saying it. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Aroma Sound. Not even Canelo fans talk about money. And Canelo is the highest paid. Come on, bro. Crap. The Haney does it all the time. That's cap. They don't do it all the time. They could do it all the time, but it's us over here arguing with fans. You guys are the only fans that do that shit. You guys, Tanker maniacs, y'all the only ones. No, but he's making a lot of money, and it's a payday, and he put more butts in seats, and he's selling more pay-per-views. Y'all the only ones that do that shit. Nobody else doing it. You know, there's a handful of fighters out there that have made more money than Tank Davis. Like, now he's going to make more because of the exhibition with Jake Paul. But Tyson Fury seen bigger paydays. Anthony Joshua seen bigger paydays. There's a few fighters out there who've seen bigger paydays. Their fan base is not talking about money every day and arguing about money and giving them excuses like, no, it's not. He not ducking because he's going to make a lot of money. Their fan base not doing that. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else. Nobody, my people. So, and I said it before. You know who's guilty of this whole narrative of fans bringing up money to defend the duck? Is Al Heyman and the PBC. Because they the ones who brought up money into the boxing conversation. They the ones who started arguing about, oh, he put more butts in seats, and he's selling more pay-per-views, and he's a bigger star, and he's more popular. And I got to see in real time as all these arguments that Al Heyman was making to promote his fighters, little by little, their fan base started making those same arguments. You don't realize that you sound goofy as hell. Because if I'm a promoter, I'm making that argument because I'm trying to make the most money possible. If I'm a manager, I'm making that argument because I'm trying to make the most money possible. Bro, why you making that argument? You're not making no goddamn money. Why are you arguing about who makes more money? I want y'all to understand this. If there's a guy right there who's gonna fight for 100 million, and there's a guy right there who's gonna fight for 10 million, bro, they both millionaires and we not. 10 million, 100 million, guess what? The guy with the 10 million, he's gonna still be able to get the mansion, he's still gonna be able to get the cars, he's still gonna be able to get a lot of shit that most of us can't get. So you look mad, dumb, goofy as hell arguing about money, about the money millionaires got. Come on now. Come on now. Croc, the Normans are in boxing. You are not. You brought up the Haneys. The Haneys are in boxing. You are not. They get paid off of boxing. They're talking about their job. You don't get paid off of boxing. So when somebody who's in boxing argues about money, they arguing about their interests. When you argue about money, you pocket watching and arguing about somebody else's interest. How could that even make sense to you, bro? When did they brainwash y'all to argue about somebody else's money? You're really excited about Tank Davis making $200 million. I'm a hater because I want Tank Davis to fight the guy who whooped his ass. Give him a rematch. I had him winning the rematch. Fight fans want to see the rematch. You over here talking about he making a lot of money. Why the hell you care about the money he making? He's not going to cut you a check. He's not going to send you a check. He's not going to give you a job. He's not going to look at your comments and say, yo, bro, yo, Croc, I love the way you fighting for my honor. Let me send you this check. None of that's going to happen, bro. None of that shit is going to happen. So as much as you want to justify pocket watching by saying, well, the Haneys talk about money and Bill and but these are people that are within the boxing industry. They talking about their interests. How can you compare that to boxing fans talking about, no, the best fight, you know, he don't got to fight the best because he going to make a lot of money. How is that all that money entertaining you in any way? We get entertained by them fighting. I don't think you Google his bank account and entertain yourself by that. Like, yo, look at all those zeros. Yo, look at the 200 mils in Tank Davis' bank account. This is crazy. Like, is that the sort of entertainment that you're getting or something? I don't know. Crap. So why are you calling Tank a duck when all he's doing is getting all the money he wants? How you answer that? That's easy, Croc. He's a duck because he could have fought Lamar Roach, and right after that, he could have fought Jake Paul and got that same amount of money. So while you're in denial about what's really happening, there was a rematch scheduled with Lamar Roach, and he skipped the rematch and went to Jake Paul. He ducked. There's no other way around it. You're on denial because you're a tankomaniac. But in the world of boxing, when you have a fighter who whooped your ass, who you got gifted a draw against, who you got a rematch scheduled to fight, and you say, no, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to go do an exhibition. I'm not going to fight you, fam. I'm going to go do this exhibition. It's only tanker maniacs who believe that an amount of money disappears a duck. Croc, you're in a very, very lonely island where it's only you and a small group of tanker maniacs who believe that an amount of money disappears a duck. It doesn't, buddy. You had a rematch schedule, you duck Lamont Roach. No matter how you want to spin it about money and how much you want to focus on money, he ducked Lamont Roach. That's the reality. Aroma Sound. That's the new generation of fans. Jake Paul fans care about the money and followers, not necessarily the fight. There you have it. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, can you please read my text up top? Here we go. JJ's in the house. Correct me, Jay Smith. They did start all the crap. I'm an old school fight fan. I just want the best fights, the best. That's what I'm talking about, my guy. True fight fans want the best to fight the best. So we want Tank Davis to fight Shakur. We want him to fight Teofimo Lopez. We want him to fight Devin Haney. But guess what? The Tanker Maniacs / Jake Paul Maniacs, they just want them to make a lot of money. They don't care about who they fight. He's making a lot of money. He's going to make the most money. Will you turn all this money down? The pocket watching is crazy. The pocket watching is crazy. That's what social media did to boxing. That's what social media did to boxing fans. Right there. Pocket watching people who don't even care about who's fighting each other. It's about who's popular and who's going to make the most money. Goofy as hell. Tony Lasagna. A duck walks by a lemonade. Stanton says to the man working the stand, got any grapes? That joke is going to make me send you on a 30-minute timeout, bro. Because I didn't get it. Aroma Sound. You might be right, money. It's all about views. But then that's what I'm trying to tell you. What kind of fan are you when your focus, when you debate about the sport, it's about who's making more money? What? How is that even possible? How is it even possible? What's your love for the sport? Crap. Honestly, he didn't whoop his ass. He won to me. I gave it to Roach, one base on Tank going down and one going to his corner. I give you that. So then if you give me that, bro, how could you say it's not a duck? How could you say it's not a duck? If you're giving me that, this guy gave you the best fight of your life, you got gifted a draw, and then you turn him down. You could say if you want to that he's making a lot of money. I know you guys like to bring up the money. With Tank's career, you guys have always brought up the money. He's the cash cow. He's the face of boxing. He's the one making the most money, the butts and seats. You guys have already said it all. You've been doing it for years. For years, bro. So now you think that because he's taking a lot of money, he's not ducking that guy that gave him that type of fight? No, he's ducking. That's just the reality. Superman. It means he looked for stuff the next day. It means he looked for stuff that next day when there is lemonade in your face. So Tank ducking the lemonade and going to the grapes, who's Jake. Oh, damn. That was actually a good one. Where he at? I need to bring him back. Where he at? Hold on. I'm going to bring him back. That was a good one. That was a good one. I ain't even going to cap. Who was that? Was that Tony Lasagna? Yeah, I'm trying to bring him back. I don't know what's going on. Crap. Horrible assessment. I don't know. I don't know what was horrible about that assessment. You over here talking about, sure, the Haneys are arguing about money. The Haneys are in boxing. The Haney's are in boxing. You are talking about money. What are you getting out of it? What are you getting out of it? What exactly are you getting out of Tank Davis making $100 million? Is he gonna at least send you a thank you message, a thank you email? Like what is it that you're getting, bro? Go ahead, Croc. You give me your assessment on how is it that you guys are so focused on Tank Davis money. The pocket watching is crazy. And it is embarrassing, to be honest. Superman, Croc, you hating. I mean, you know. Everybody got haters. I got haters too. So let Croc live. You know, he could be one of my haters. Aroma Sound. This might be the first time I actually saw a fighter duck in real time. And it's not just rumor. One fighter saying about the other. All the other ducks, no one can confirm because we don't know behind the scenes. This one is out in the open. You see? A lot of times, there's a duck and people could try to make a good argument against it. And usually that's what happens. If it's a guy they like, they make a good argument. Like, look, I got an argument why it's not a duck. For this reason. But guess what? In this case, you guys watch the duck in real time. Why? Just take into account the fact that Jake Paul, the same day that Tank Davis got his ass whooped by Lamar Roach, the same day, Jake Paul said, we had a rematch, we had a fight scheduled, but you saw what happened in this draw. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait for him to take care of that rematch with Lamar Roach, and then me and him is going to fight. Jake Paul said that was the plan the whole time. So in other words, to the people, to the tanker maniacs who say nobody's going to turn down $100 million, they didn't have to turn down $100 million. There was no need to turn down $100 million. He could have fought Lamar Roach in the rematch just like they planned it, and then went on to fight Jake Paul. That could have been easy. But guess what? They understood that Lamar Roach may have whooped his ass. They decided to duck him and go straight into Jake Paul. So no matter how many excuses people could make up in their head and how many different angles they could point at, it's still a duck, bro. It's still a duck. There's no way that you can take that away. And it's funny because some of these same fans still be bringing up that Canelo duck boo-boo all those years ago. Yeah, Canelo duck boo-boo though. He could have fought him. He ducked. Guess what? Now Tank Davis is going to be a duck for his whole career. His whole career, duck. Why? Because he's 30 years old. He didn't fight a single reigning champion in the 135 division. Not one. Most people don't even understand that the only reigning champion that Tank Davis fought in the division that he was in was Pedraza. Stepping Stone Pedraza. Done got beat up by everybody by this point. But that's the only reigning champion that he beat in his own division. I'm going to remind y'all that he was at 135 and he went down to 130 to beat little ass Leo. He went up to 140 to fight secondary champion and Mickey Mouse belt holder at the time, Mario Barrios. In 135, he got the secondary title by beating none other than washed up Gamboa, who had already took L's. He also beat El Androide Garcia, who was a 130 champion who moved up to 135 to fight Tank and lost to him. So the same way that they try to pick apart the resume of Crawford, of Shakur, and of everybody else, they be playing dumb when it comes to Tank Davis' resume. How long Tank Davis been at the 135 division? 5 years? 5? I think he's been at 135 for 5 years and hasn't faced a single reigning champion in that division. Mind you, while Tank Davis been at 135, Teofimo Lopez was there. Devin Haney was there. Shakur Stevenson is there now. 30 years old, ain't fight none of them. 30 years old, ain't fight none of them. And he got his fan base arguing why taking all this money in an exhibition fight is great. That's what happens. If you're a fighter, you need to start building a pocket-watching fan base. Because once you have a pocket-watching fan base, they're not going to care who you fight. They're only going to care if you're making money. That's it. That's the go-to move. I'm going to have to. You know what? I got to think about doing that. Maybe I'm going to do that, my peoples. Now that I think about it, I could get myself, rent. I can't afford to buy no Ferrari. I can't afford it. But I could rent a Lamborghini. I could rent for one day a little penthouse and rent some jewelry and shoot some videos looking like I'm balling out of control. And then that's going to bring in the pocket watching fans. That's all I'm saying. That's going to bring in the pocket watching fans. Crack, take it easy, Jay Smith. This is all clean and fun. I'm having fun, my brother. This is my show. And you see, Crack, that's where you mess up. You're going to come on my show to tell me to take it easy. Damn, Crack. It's like you can't help yourself. Can't help yourself. Hold on, Crack. I hid you by mistake. I didn't mean to hide you, Crack. My bad. But you're going to need a 24-hour break because you start getting dumb after a while. You start getting stupid. How you going to tell me on my show to take it easy? We going back and forth, and then you're telling me to take it easy. You need a break. You get stupid. You get dumb. Superman. Tank a good fighter. But he don't want to fight to make him great. That's the thing. We don't see Tank Davis reaching for greatness. We don't see Tank Davis trying to fight. Look, I'm going to remind you guys. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, the argument was about who's better. Remember that? Who's better? Tank, Teo, Shakur, Ryan. Who's better? That was the argument. Now these goofballs want to make the argument who make more money. Who got more money in the bank? Who got more money in their pockets? Come on, my people. That was never the argument. Like, I don't find it entertaining at all to argue about people's money. I don't find it entertaining at all to argue about how much this person is going to get or who's making the biggest purse. Like, to me, that's even weird. That's weird shit. To see broke people obsessed with bringing up millionaire money. And by the way, I don't mean broke as in you don't got no money, but compared to these people, most of us is broke. Come on now. And then these people will sit down and argue about millions of dollars, about millions of pay-per-view, about millions of... God damn, babe. Motherfucker, you probably ain't even pay your rent yet. And you're talking about all these millions. Nah, my peoples. We got to bring boxing talk, boxing debates, boxing arguments to what it used to be. When we talking about boxing. When we talking about what happens inside the ring. When we talk about, my brother, you need a break. You sound angry. You sound real angry. You need a break. We got to take boxing back to when people used to just argue about what's happening in the ring. Argue about who's the best fighters. Argue about who really won this fight that we saw. Well, we're going to sit there, man, and argue about who got more money. And who got the biggest payday. And who's putting the butts in seats. There's just a certain level of goofiness when you make those arguments. Oliver, Canelo will get boxed up by Bud. I agree with you 100%. Agree with you 100%. Canelo Alvarez is going to win that fight. Crawford is going to win that fight by unanimous decision. It's going to be a good fight. I don't knock Canelo. Look, I always tell people, Canelo is a great fighter. He's a great fighter, pound for pound fighter, accomplished, future Hall of Famer, future all-time great. Canelo's a great fighter. But don't get it twisted. Terrence Crawford is also a great fighter. Don't get confused. JJ Sendejas, the fuck out of here. You see, that's what I'm saying. People get too comfortable sometimes. We could go back and forth, but don't get too comfortable, man. Don't get too comfortable. I'll send you on timeout a couple of times, and then you keep getting too comfortable. You get blocked. Come on now. Paul Smith, it could be by TKO. I mean, Terrence Crawford could stop him. He could stop him like that by I mean, it could even be a devastating knockout. If Crawford catches Canelo with the right shot at the right time, he could go to sleep. Don't get it twisted. Oliver, Canelo will lose, hope by round 6, like he did with Bivol. I mean, it went the distance with Bivol. But, look, if I'm putting my money on this fight, which I am, I'm going with Crawford winning by unanimous decision. I don't see Canelo just getting knocked out, although I acknowledge that it can happen. But I think the most likely scenario is that Crawford outboxes him and in the later rounds even makes it look easy. Even makes it look easy. But my peoples, again, this episode, we kicked it off with Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. That fight may actually happen. Remember, they was real close, or it appeared that they were at least cool with each other. Before, you used to see them in training together and all that stuff. And now Jamel Charlo's ready to go after Errol. He posted that subliminal message, a lion eating a shark. JJ's in the house. Exactly, Superman. Where is John? We near him. Salad is in the building. Watch out, Jay Smith. Come on now. Come on. You know the veggie salad is going to be in the building. Yo, you know what's funny, JJ's in their house? Yo, the veggie salad had the audacity to hit me up privately and say, yo, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm handicapped. You look dumb trolling me. You hear that? This crippled child molester is going to say that I look dumb trolling him. When you see him coming on this show pretty much every day with 500 different accounts to talk shit. Aroma Sound. I got Charlo winning that one. Listen, that's going to be a real competitive fight, man. It's hard for me to make a prediction just because they've both been inactive for about 2 years. They both coming off of a loss. But to me, what makes it tough is that Errol Spence took a nasty beating versus Terrence Crawford. I'm wondering, what version of Errol are we going to see, my peoples? Is he going to come back and look like the old version who, brutal attacks to the body, applies that constant pressure? Or are we going to see somebody who is now going to be gun-shy, who's now going to be more apprehensive to stepping in on the inside? I don't know what Errol we're going to get, my people. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, tell him nicely, get the fuck out of here. My peoples, I'm about to step off. This has been another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode 52. You know it. We spoke about Errol Spence. We spoke about the whole situation with Charlo and all these other fights. The Shakur Stevenson haters and the Terrence Crawford haters was in the building. The Tankomaniacs was in the building. Yo, we do what we do, my peoples. But let me leave you with the last words of Jay Stradamus. Y'all know I got to do it. Y'all know I got to do it every single day. My people, the last words of Jay Stradamus of today, it's gonna be about pocket watching. My peoples, let me tell you something about pocket watching. Let me address the pocket watching that has been going down with Tankomaniacs. My peoples, The money that's going into somebody else's pockets, the money that's going into somebody else's bank account, is never gonna be a form of entertainment to you. That's them. The money that's going in Tank Davis' bank account, that's gonna be new cars for Tank Davis. That's gonna be new mansions for Tank Davis. New big chains and new big watches for Tank Davis. But that ain't gonna be shit for you. You're not getting 1 cent out of that 200 mils or whatever he's gonna get. So you look goofy as hell when you're trying to argue about the amount of money the next man is gonna make when that money's not gonna benefit you. I understand that you're a fan of the guy, but apply this in real life, my peoples. Don't be a tankomaniac in real life, arguing about how much money this person is making and arguing about this person over there who got millions. My peoples, you need to focus about you, what you got. You need to focus about what you getting. And if you're not getting it like that, then you need to focus on how you can get it. So there you have it, my peoples. Those are the words of Jay Stradamus for the day. Whether it's with Tank Davis, whether it's on TV, whether it's on real life, stop the pocket watching. Stop arguing about other people's money and start focusing on getting your own. Y'all already know what it is, my peoples. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxers. Favorite boxing show. Peace.